Kung Pham was once a successful farmer with land in Vietnam's fertile Mekong Delta. Today, Pham lives on a small allowance from his children. And his farm? It's out there, underwater, a kilometer or so off the coast of this beach.
Dưa hấu, khoai lang, rồi đậu phộng, rồi thời gian bị thủy triều nó dâng lên á, rồi nước nó tràn vô là canh tác không được. Thành ra nó bể á, thì nó bị nước thủy triều nó dâng lên cao á, nó ngập á.
Thousands of coastal farmers have already lost their land and incomes. But now sea level rise is threatening even more farmers upstream. During the dry season, salty seawater easily flows inland, contaminating freshwater irrigation canals, says Truyan Minh Pham, Director of the Department of Agriculture.
Trong những năm gần đây thì do cái biến đổi khí hậu thì nó có ảnh hưởng rất lớn đến cái sản xuất là nông nghiệp nói chung, sản xuất cây lúa nói riêng của tỉnh, làm ảnh hưởng tới cái thu hẹp cái diện tích sản xuất lúa.
60 kilometers upstream, rice farmer Bin Tak would never have imagined seawater entering his irrigation canal. But today, it's killing his rice crop. This season, he expects his harvest will be half of what he once reaped.
Lúc trước tôi cũng nếm nước như nêm xong thì tôi bơm nước lên ruộng. Mà hiện tại giờ thì ruộng tôi đã không có phát triển được như xưa nữa, nó cũng bị vàng, nó chết hết mớ nữa, nên là chắc phải không dám bơm nước này lên nữa rồi.
Farmers say they are in desperate need of information and ideas that will help them adapt to climate change.
In Indonesia's southernmost province, farmers are struggling through a water crisis. The peak of the dry season was supposed to end in August, but months later, little has changed.
Because of this long dry season, we are all experiencing crop failure.
Dried out from the inside, none of these crops can be eaten or sold. The farmers say they've also been struggling financially because of COVID-19 measures, which saw their local markets restrict hours or close altogether.
Because of COVID-19, it is more difficult. Our income is almost nothing. It's difficult to buy food.
She says they haven't received any assistance from the government. Indonesia's National Disaster Agency issued a warning this month for extreme weather caused by the La Nina weather phenomenon, including lower rainfall than normal for some provinces.
Ariel Cortez has been a fisherman all his life. He grew up and started his own family in this coastal village in Manila Bay. But life has been hard over the last few years, and now he's thinking of moving somewhere else.
Catching fish for us now feels more like finding luck. We have to head out further at sea to fish all day, hoping to come back with a bigger harvest. That means we also need a bigger boat, which consumes more fuel, and there is not much left for us after that.
More than 2,000 families live on this part of Manila Bay. Many of them have been living here for generations, and almost all of them are dependent on fishing for their livelihood. People here tell us the sea level in Manila Bay is continuing to rise, and they've had to raise the floors in their homes to avoid them being submerged. They say this rise in sea level is due to climate change.
It's rising by 12.13 millimeters per year. And if I'm not mistaken, the global average is a little bit higher than 3 millimeters. Countries in the middle of the planet would have a different number. And for the Philippines, it's 4 times higher.
The Philippines accounts for less than 1% of global greenhouse gas emissions, but it's among countries most at risk from the impacts of climate change.
Climate change is causing all sorts of problems for our planet, making it harder for the plants and animals that live here, and for the people too. The places we live and work are being affected more by blizzards, hurricanes, and flooding. The crops we grow for food are suffering more from not enough water and from too much. And playing soccer or riding a bike during a heat wave? I don't think so. The effects of climate change can harm our communities, food supplies, and way of life, and be dangerous to our health and safety. Hopefully, we can slow down or stop our climate from continuing to change. But most of the changes cannot be undone. We need to learn how to live with these changes. We need to learn how to adapt to them. Climate change adaptation is all the ways we adapt or change how we do things to make it easier and safer to live with our changing climate. It is designing communities so they are protected from flooding. It is taking care of water supplies to help farmers when there is too much or too little rain. It is planting rooftop gardens on buildings to help keep our cities cooler and use less energy, and so much more.